Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for you to be here today. I've got a super special guest for me. She's in Perth, actually, but she's originally from Colombia, and it is Alba Gomez. And Alba is a personal brand and style coach, and she is the creator of the Wow Now Revolution. And this is all about feeling great, empowering yourself to love how you look and feel today, and creating a look and image that you love. And Alba's philosophy is really all about the feeling behind the look. And she's a friend of mine. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. And I cannot wait to introduce her to you today. So welcome, Alba.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's such a pleasure. So you have such an interesting story. Do you want to tell us a little bit about you and your journey?
Yes, sure. Okay. So as you said, I'm from Colombia. And as you already everyone might hear from my accent, and I moved to Australia 12 years ago. I was originally trained as an engineer, and I work in the corporate industry for over 12 years and had very good jobs, and it was like a, let's say, fine journey, but I absolutely, I got to this place in which I lost passion for what I was doing, and one day I took the decision to just really change my career and do something that I absolutely loved. So a little bit of my story is that growing up, I always felt inadequate. I was a little bit bullied because of my funny looks, and I grew up with a big lack of self-love and self-confidence. And that pushed me very quickly to get into learning everything I could to make the most out of my look, because I kind of thought inside that by knowing how to make the most out of how I look, then I could actually, feel better, and it really worked.
Yeah.
And so it was like a really interesting discovery at a very early age that how we look affects how we feel. However, I went on to have this successful career, but I kept feeling empty. I made these wrong decisions with relationships. I had a very unfulfilled life. I went through depression. Then I get divorced and hit like rock bottom. And that's when I actually thought, you know what? I now understand that I understand the power of how you look. It has in how you feel. But I also now understand that I need to get to love and appreciate the woman I am with my flaws and the things that I don't like about me. And just then I'm going to be feeling great. So that's when I created the Wow Now Revolution and the Wow Now personal brand. That is just actually a system that just takes you through. It's like a journey. I call it a journey to embrace who you are today. Mm-hmm. Not tomorrow when you lose the weight, not tomorrow when your hair is longer, not tomorrow when you whiten your teeth, not tomorrow. So it's all about embracing who we are as women. We are so critical on ourselves, and just, really growing that confidence and self-love, and then creating an amazing image that when you look in the mirror, you feel happy, confident, proud, and then you act from that place of confidence. So then you attract the success in your relationships, in your job, in your business, in every area of your life.
Fantastic. And you know what? For those of you out there who are watching this video, Alba definitely 100% walks her talk. She really takes the steps. You meet her and she's got this energy about her, and she looks amazing, obviously. But, and even if she was walking around in a tracksuit, that she would feel great. That she would be in her power. That she's feeling feminine and sexy. And it's because you own, who you are, and you love that. And you know who you are, you're comfortable with it. And I think that's really where it comes down, to start with, is being comfortable with who you are. And I think you touched on such a great point. I actually spoke about this on a video yesterday. And that's about, living in your life now, not waiting till your hair grows or your teeth are white or you lose the weight. But life is happening now, And so many people I know, and so many people that I love to work with, they go, okay, when I lose 10 kgs or when I fit into my size 8 jeans, then I'll go out and, enjoy the party. Then I'll go to the beach. Then I'll do this. And you're perpetually living in this when I am in state. And you don't live in your life. And the only way to pull that stuff in, enjoy the moments at the beach or do this, is actually live as if now.
Yeah.
So love that point. Love it. So what I really wanted to chat to you today about was something that I know that I struggled with tremendously, and I know a lot of the women that I love to speak with do the same. And that's about when you don't feel your greatest, like when you're tired and unmotivated and you've put a lot of weight on, or you're maybe struggling to lose weight, and you don't feel like presenting yourself to the world. You don't like how your clothes feel on you. but you're still required to participate in society in some way.
Yes.
Can't just, hide under the blankets watching Netflix in our, tracksuits all day. What kind of advice do you have if you're in that situation where you put on your clothes and you're like, it's a bit tired, like I don't feel nice?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people?
Yeah, and I just, that is something that gets me really passionate. I've had clients for all backgrounds, sizes, shapes, and even though I am not the biggest woman, I think the only reason is not weight, even though it might be the biggest. But sometimes you cannot be exactly having extra kilos, but you're just feeling absolutely blah. So all this reason just makes us and look in the mirror and see something that I actually think is completely a distorted image. So we look and we see these horrible things. We focus on the negatives. We look in the mirror and we focus on the wrinkle and the new gray hair in the extra muffy top. And we obsess and we do that every morning and we start our days doing that. And how else are you going to feel? And how are you going to want to get dressed when all you're doing is saying negative things to yourself? And I always say, if someone else was telling you what you're telling yourself, you will punch them in the head. So first of all, watch how you're talking to yourself. Really watch it. And I think first step is make a decision. Like, it doesn't really matter. And I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and she was getting really worried because she was going on this European trip, and she was saying, I have 20 kilos extra, and I'm just panicking, thinking of what's bathers am I going to be wearing, and blah, blah, blah. And then we had the conversation, and she, with her own words, said, you know what? I think now I see that I am going to remember, and probably people are going to remember, the woman who was jumping on the waves, having fun and loving life. No one was going to be thinking, oh, look at her with 20 extra kilos. So look at the extra cellulite. Like, like, come on, let's get into reality.
Yeah.
So I would say the first step is that get into reality, get over it. Focusing on the negative is not going to change it. So make a decision that you're going to embrace and love how you look today. And it takes courage and it takes a lot of energy to start changing all that negative self-talk that is going on for a positive. But until you don't do that, nothing else is going to help. I can put the most beautiful dress on you, get the most beautiful makeup, do your hair, and you're still going to look in the mirror and see all the flaws.
So true. So I love that.
So that is, for me, I would say, and as I always say with the work I do with women, is 70% how you see yourself and how you decide to love yourself. So a little tip to start on that is I recommend doing a body meditation, what I call a body meditation. So you stand naked in front of the mirror and you start focusing area by area on your body, from your hair to your feet, and you start, for example, looking at your hair. And then you grab your hair, you look at it in the mirror, and you thank your hair for how luxurious it is. You find the description. So if you don't like your hair, it doesn't matter. Thank it because you can do a ponytail with it. You know what I mean? If you really like your eyes, I thank you eyes because you really allow me to see, and I love how beautiful my eyebrows are. Anyway, you find all you have to compliment. And even the parts that you don't love, you find a way of appreciating them. Let's say your hands, to say something. I have some clients who don't like their hands, but you can appreciate, for example, saying thank you so much because you allow me to grab things, you allow me to touch things, so that is a really beautiful way of really kind of getting into a place where you realize, you know what, I have a healthy, functioning body, and feeling very grateful for it. So that's one thing. The second one is every morning starting with a little bit of self-love. So when you're in front of the mirror, applying your moisturizer, or doing your hair or applying your makeup, you look in the mirror and you do what is called the mirror exercise that is created by Louise Hay. And you look at your reflection and you say your name. So in my case, it would be Alba. I love you. I really, really love you. And it feels awkward. It feels weird. And there's something I cannot even say that. I was one of those. I could not look in the mirror and say, I love me. So you start with, I am willing to love you, or I'll appreciate you. And then every morning you're going to start giving yourself a little smile. And every time you catch yourself thinking like, you stop, and then you appreciate something. So it's kind of like that. So those two elements, if you are consistent with them, within 2 weeks, you're going to start feeling better. And then, we jump into the wardrobe. So the biggest mistake I see women doing is, I'm bigger at the moment and nothing fits me. Well, if nothing fits you, let's get something that fits you today. Let's move because what is the point of repeating the same complaint every morning and not doing anything about it? It's like, come on, But I don't want to buy anything because I'm going to lose the weight. Yeah, you're going to lose the weight, but we need to get you dressed today. We need to get you feeling good today.
Yeah.
So go into your wardrobe and actually find what fits without beating yourself up there and feeling like horrible. Just move to the side what doesn't fit today, leave at the front what fits you, and be realistic and say, can I live with this, or I actually need to go shopping for something? If you are absolutely sure, be realistic, that you're going to lose the weight very soon, what I do recommend is then obviously go and shop for things that are not very expensive. So going to shops that, like at lower prices, so that you can still find beautiful things without having just to spend too much money. But you actually need to have clothes that work for you today. And the more you can feel better today, the quicker and easier that weight is going to drop.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because I know in my case, I did the same thing, what you're talking about, I'm going to lose the weight. Like, I'm not prepared to buy the bigger clothes because that means I'm going to be that size forever. And I hated myself even more because every day I put clothes on that didn't fit me. And so every day I was reminded that I wasn't the way that I wanted to be. And it made me, because they're tighter and, you have little bits and pieces sticking out where you don't want them to, you naturally go, oh, I wish that wasn't there. Like, oh, I hate that. Oh, I wish, it makes me so uncomfortable. And so you live in that state of hating how you look. Whereas, if you bought clothes, like you said, go to a cheaper shop and buy something that's comfortable, they know that, it fits you now, you're actually going to enjoy being in them, as opposed to going like, oh, my leggings are so tight. Like, oh, I did that for years. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not prepared to buy the clothes, but then I never enjoyed what I was wearing.
And what is the point? Remember, it's all about enjoying life today. So a couple of things there. I think it's let's say in Australia we're in winter at the moment. So a pair of leggings, how much can that cost? Your boots will still fit you. Buy a couple of long tops.
Yeah.
There you go. Off you go. Like, there's so many options, and you can just get 2, 3, 4 outfits, but get something in colors. And as I always say, when you put it on, it makes you feel great. It's not about the price tag. It's not about where you're getting it from. Doesn't really matter what it is. And that's how I shop. I put it on, I love it, and then I look at the price, and then I consider, yes, I'm willing to invest this, or this is awesome, I'm so getting it. So it's all about really creating those outfits that are going to work for you today. So in the mornings where you're going into your wardrobe, you smile, as opposed to going into your wardrobe and feeling like, oh, here we go again, this is horrible. And what the things that you do within the first hours of the day are going to set the tone.
Great point.
The whole day and the energy you put in. And I always say, we as women, and I was even checking out a study today, and I was thinking, how amazing is this? Where did I write it? It's like we, in our lifetime, spend a whole year thinking what to wear.
Really? What a great point.
And then I was thinking, imagine a whole year of your life, because most of us find not me, I do enjoy my wardrobe, but I guess in general, because I had to work on it. Don't you worry about it. I worked on it. A whole year of your life, frustrated, anxious, and you end up wearing something that is not doing anything for you. You feel blah, you act blah, you stand in a position of low power, and then you go into your interactions on your day and nothing flows, and you are embarrassed trying to cover yourself because you don't feel covering what you're wearing. So decide that you want to do this and say, okay, I'm going to sort my wardrobe, I'm going to get over this once and for all, I'm going to make a little list of what am I going to get, and you're going to go and get it. And that probably can take you a few hours. But imagine starting your days with excitement, with purpose, looking in the mirror and deciding that you're going to love yourself, because in 20 years' time, you would think of this moment today as such a big waste of energy. And another thing that's happened a lot to me and lots of clients is looking at photos from maybe 10, 20 years ago and thinking, wow, I looked awesome in that photo. But remembering that on the photo, in the day, you thought you were big. You were not really happy with how you looked. And then now probably being older, being probably bigger or whatever you are, or having a couple of wrinkles extra, thinking, wow, and I feel better today. I allow myself to love how I look today more than back then. So it's a mindset.
That's so true, because a lot of the stuff that I talk about is, we put our lives on hold because we're waiting until we feel, act a certain way. And those moments we're going, when I'm, XYZ, but those can go on for months and even years. And although we waste so much time and so much energy waiting for something else to happen, when that's going to happen or it's not going to happen either way, you might as well just enjoy this time now. And, you know, I find that those moments are almost like an unlived life, because you're worried so much about something that in the moment you can't actually change. You know, if you're 10 kgs, 20 kgs heavier than you really want to be, in the moment, if you're not going to make it disappear, so you might as well enjoy the moment. And like you said earlier, like, you know, you were talking about a client who was going on her holiday, and she said, you know, who's going to remember whether she was 20 kgs heavier or not? They were going to remember her laughing and having a great time, jumping in the waves. Like, those are the things we remember. And, you know, looking back at your photo and thinking, oh, I wish I knew how, you know, healthy, happy, young, whatever I looked back then. It's not something that I really want to do in 30 years' time. I want to go, oh my God, I remember that party, or I remember that day at the beach, or I remember, you know, it was so much fun. Not, oh, I was so skinny back then, I didn't even realize, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And obviously, from the styling point of view, there's a couple of things that I can also share. So let's say you want to look slimmer. There's a couple of things that are very easy that you can do. Creating vertical lines. So as opposed to wearing, like, let's say a chunky necklace, how I'm doing today, that is rounded, that this will make me look bigger, you will wear more like thin, or necklaces that sit flat and that sit in V, longer V.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as we create longer V necklines, avoid rounded necklines as well, because that makes you look rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So go with V necklines. So go with necklaces that sit on V, that create that elongation on your torso, and as a result, you look taller.
Mm-hmm.
And then this big mistake with women who want to appear to be slimmer is you cover your body and put too many layers, too loose, too much extra fabric. All the extra fabric you add to your body makes you look bigger. So go for thinner fabrics that are more fitted. Obviously, you're not going to go extra fitted if you're a little bit bigger at the moment, but follow the shape of the body. Avoid super wide legs. Avoid all that extra ruffles and patterns and things that look busy, that make you look big. And then when you layer, for example, create contrast. So if this dress that I'm wearing today is black, and I wear, let's say, a blue jacket, there's going to be a contrast between my jacket, and let's say it's an open jacket, and my dress. So I'm going to create like a vertical line that is going to slip your torso as well.
Yeah.
So it's all about longer earrings, and if you are a little bit more, the face a little bit more rounded, avoid short haircuts, because of that have a lot of volume around here, because that's going to make your face look even more rounder. And apply your blush on an angle. When you apply the blush on an angle, the face looks slimmer. When we apply the blush horizontally, I apply my blush horizontally because I have a longer face. So it's kind of like anything that you can do to create more of angular, diagonal and vertical lines, and that elongates your torso, elongates your face, and pants that are more straight legs create vertical influence, make you look longer. The other thing is avoid low focal points. To give you an example, imagine you're wearing all black and you wear red shoes. Your eyes will go to the shoes, which are fantastic, and that's an outfit that I really like. But when we send our eyes below the knees, we appear to be shorter and bigger.
Oh, great tip.
So we want to create high focal points around the face that send the eyes high around the face, and we appear instantly to be taller. So if you still like, I love that monochromatic outfits with red shoes, what you do is you have the black outfit with red shoes, you create something red around your face, the lipstick, the necklace, the scarf, so you balance one color with the other. But it's more about create high focal points, the accessory here, the necklace, the earrings, or the top with some detail around the top part, so you appear to be longer and slimmer.
So is the, I mean, I know the thing that I've always remembered is, you know, if you maybe are bigger than you want to be, wear black, wear darker colors. Is that true?
Yeah, there is a reason. It's not just black. And the reason why, when darker colors make us look slimmer, that's a reality. Darker colors. Light colors like pastel or white make us look bigger. So obviously stay away from really light colors, especially, let's say, the bum is a little bit too big at the moment and you feel uncomfortable, because just is more visually for you. That will help. So yeah, darker colors help us look slimmer. But it's not only black, it's any dark color. So if you wear dark blue, dark green, all the dark colors. And the reason for that is when you wear a monochromatic outfit, you create like a column. So you create a vertical influence throughout your whole body and makes it look taller. But it's not just black, it's all dark colors.
Fantastic. So do you recommend, like, you know, when you don't feel comfortable, using accessories to try and, you know, make your outfit look a little bit exciting? If you're going for, like, you know, black leggings and a black top or darker colors, do you say, oh, okay, we'll throw in like a long necklace or a scarf or something?
Yeah, and I guess sometimes I found that with my clients, it's a little bit harder to get someone who is feeling bigger to embrace color. I am wearing black today by coincidence. It's more the cold. I'm going for what is warm. What is cold. I am a very colorful person, but I understand you might prefer to look darker colors to look slimmer, and because it might be easier to combine. So that's completely fine. But what I always say, let's accessorize. So you can go for, remember, stick to longer accessories that are not too bulky, so that create like more like chains and longer. And then go for metals. You can go silver, you can go gold, you can go rose gold, or you can go colors. And then create that extra. Because if you wear all black and you don't accessorize, I am sorry to say, you might look very boring. So we don't want boring. You can be wearing black, but you want black with something. And accessories are the last little touch that can make any outfit go from okay to fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, you can go to any shop. You don't have to spend a fortune. If you feel like it, go for it. But there's so many beautiful shops with custom jewelry, and they look fantastic. It's all about judge things for how they look. Grab it in your hands and think, does this look nice, or does it look plasticky and ordinary?
Yeah.
And then buy a couple of longer necklaces in gold and metals or colors, and then that will be a great finish for your outfit.
Fantastic. Well, I think those are some fantastic tips, you know, and something that I know from experience is that when you feel great in what you're wearing, no matter what size you are, whether you want to be that size or not, your experience of life is definitely a lot greater. You know, it's brighter, it's greater. You know, you tend to forget about, you know, how you don't like how you look in the moment when you're out just having fun. You go, you know, you don't go, oh, I just remembered I don't like how I feel. You know, you're out there, you're talking to people, you feel great, you know, you feel confident. And that's really what I know, you know, what you want to create for your clients and what I want to create for my clients as well. And for women in general, is empower them to, yes, it might not be fantastic in the moment, but, you know, enjoy life anyway. You know, do what you need to do to make sure you're not focused on how it's not how you want it to be, and live. Go out there and live.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the whole message. Like, obviously you can do a lot of things to, you know, to look good and put the effort into even putting a little bit of an extra makeup, or, you know, like really giving yourself, as I say, when you take care of how you look, you are giving yourself love.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do it? But the first step is, feel good. And I always say the more attractive woman is not the perfect, taller, skinny, super skinny, blonde, blue eyes. Like, is that the picture? Like, for example, who said that? Like, I have seen women that they can probably be the bigger I've ever been, and you look at them and you think, wow, she looks awesome. So I don't think beauty and confidence and that energy that goes with you, that just is more attractive than the perfection. It all comes from really you embracing who you are and just making the most out of it, and smiling and enjoying and just letting the world see who you are. As you are today, and that's it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all this great, fantastic advice you've given us. And, you know, I think what I spoke about with my last interview with Jo, who's, you know, an interior designer, and what I've spoken about with you today, and, you know, what I talk about with my clients as well, it all comes down to the mindset work first. You know, creating a day and a space for yourself that you take care, you put self-love in, you know, you create some time for yourself in the morning, is really what it's all about. You know, it's what's going to create a bigger impact than if you go and buy the perfect top for you to wear. So, you know, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us today. I know everyone's going to love getting to know you better and exploring your Wow Now revolution, which I think is what the world needs. So, you know, if you are, when you're reading this and watching this video, make sure you click on the links below. Follow Alba on social media. She does lots of great videos. You really want to watch them. So yeah, thank you, Alba, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.